Central Carolina Insurance Agency. Steve, thank you so much for being on the show, buddy. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe.
Steve, I want to talk to you. You have something very important coming up very soon that I think could be helpful to a lot of our listeners today, and something that would be very educational. Do you want to talk to about it and the topics that you'll be including in this?
I do, Tom and Joe. And I want to take a one page out of Joe's playbook.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait.
Whoa. If he starts using
Where's
my
the bell?
words...
Get the bell ready.
If he starts using my words against me, I'm blaming you, Tom.
All right.
Go right ahead, buddy.
It comes down to trust, become an advisor and a partner. That's what Joe's all about, and that's what my mantra is in education. And I do have 2 seminars. They're identical on April 10th and 13th. One is in Concord, one is in Cornelius, and it has to do with OSHA compliance, workplace safety, and data security. And I have 3 excellent speakers. Travis Vance, who is a notable national speaker with Fisher Phillips. He's going to discuss the OSHA side. Felix Nader, he is the owner and CEO of Nader Associates, and he is involved in workplace issues, and he is a specialist in the workplace violence, especially with what just went on with the school situation. He put a blog out on that. And John Griffith, an owner and CEO of Team Logic IT, is my IT guy. So I have something for everybody for the small business guy.
And when is that again?
It is April 10th and April 13th. The former is in Concord at 278 Copperfield Boulevard. The latter is at the Chamber of Commerce, Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce, which we know and love together. So
if they want to reach you, how can they reach you?
They can call me, 704-574-2991, or email me, meltons@centralcarolina.com.
And, Joe, you know one thing that's wonderful about Steve? It's not uncommon, even if you don't need him, for Steve to just stop by the office and say, how is everything going? He has that personal care with his customers. I appreciate when you do that, Steve. I appreciate you looking out for our best interests. And, I appreciate you as a friend, and mostly, today for being on the show. I think it's so important that people work so hard, that they do so much, but sometimes they forget to protect what's so important to them.
Well, and honestly, a guy like me, I just don't think that way, right? It's not the way I think, right? I would never think to protect my business that somebody come into the door and want to harm somebody, right? And so it's somebody like you, Steve, that says, have you thought about XYZ? And so it's not a comfortable conversation that we want to have. Can you talk about that? Because Tom and I were just talking about that earlier today, that sometimes we have to give our clients information they really don't want, right? I mean, we don't think in those terms. I think of open and this environment of being able to provide service and products to customers, but there is a level of protection we need to be concerned about.
Yeah, Joe, I don't like to be the bad guy, and that's unfortunately where you have to be sometimes. You got to throw some cold water out there, and the end game strategy, I've heard you talk about it, I've seen it on your website. The end game strategy is key, and part of the end game strategy is having your business properly protected and asking those tough questions. And workplace situations, they don't happen a lot, but I did have one client. He was a garage guy. He had one of his mechanics got in a fight with another mechanic. Now, that mechanic spurred on the other guy, and it caused problems. So we had to address that issue, and he did not have a policy procedure with it. So he calls me on, what do I do, Steve? What's going to happen to me? Am I going to be sued? These are the kind of hard questions you got to ask people. I do go through these on a delicate basis, but it really comes down to peeling away the onion, Joe.
Well, and also what happens is regulations change, information changes, right? So as this is happening, I'm running my business. I'm not thinking about what the government just changed or the regulations, and those are something you can keep us on top of.
I try to keep you on point. That's not my expertise. As I indicated earlier, I'm an orchestrator, so I will bring in the HR professional. If you don't have a competent HR professional, I may bring in Deanna Arnold or somebody like her who has her own business. She may pipe in the Employers Association for her information, but I'm not going to I have the insurance specialty, but I am going to bring in the right people. Now, they may have a competent HR professional, competent CFO or whatever, and it just really comes down to talking together and orchestrating and developing some more symbiotic relationship between those people.
Can you talk a little bit about what some of the main interests or concerns are that your clients seem to have? They seem to keep popping up.
But one of the biggest things
he
that
smiles
pops up,
as I ask him that question, Tom. You know,
Must be one of those hard things to discuss.
health insurance. It's killing people.
Yeah, it is.
It's killing people. That's probably their biggest concern because it's squeezing them. And do I have the answers? Not necessarily. All I can do is advise how to develop more wellness programs and bring in the right people to do that. It is carving down revenues. Workers' compensation insurance can be extremely expensive in workplace issues. From the standpoint, it could be a trip and fall. It could be some guy sitting on the truck that steps off and hurts his back and it hurts you for 3 years. Those kind of things people are concerned about. It's more health and accident-related kind of things.
You know, the other thing that seems to be popping up for me in small business, we're trying to do the whole 1099, right? But then workers' comp is creating this challenge for us. And matter of fact, I had a client just the other day that was accused of putting some people on 1099, and in fact, they should have been employees. And those challenges, we need somebody like you to be able to help us discern where should I be, where is my protection, and this kind of stuff.
I agree. You run into the 1099 trap on a daily basis. You've got to make sure if you're going to hire a 1099 worker, they've got their own policy. The wage hour issues are extreme. If you have 3 or more employees in a group and in a sub-S corporation, that's going to be the owner included, although they can exclude themselves for workers' comp. That you have brought up a fantastic point, is something that is a hard thing to talk about with people because it costs them money, but it's going to insulate them from a lawsuit, Joe.
And that really is the challenge that we have, right? I want them to know that you're out there and that they need to ask you the question. They don't want the answer, right? I mean, so unfortunately.
Sometimes they don't. That's right. Because it might cost me money up front.
Right,
but it's going to save you money down the road, and that's what the challenge is. Cutting down the noise with the small business guy where they get calls from everybody, it is hard to filter and find the right guy.
I mean, for instance, in my client, he was being, by the insurance, he was being sued for over $100,000 because they felt like he should have had workers' comp, and he didn't. I mean, it really is, it is worth the time and energy to slow down, ask you the right questions. At least they can know what it is you think, and from there they can then start making some decisions.
Absolutely. Now, they may already have a trusted financial advisor that they work with. I'm not out to displace them, but maybe enhance that person. I'll walk away from relationships potential, but yeah, just ask the questions. And see if I can help them.